Hey, this is Bill Steffen. We have a twofer for you today. We've got not only your weather, but there's also a really neat little show that Michelle put together on American monies. It'll all make sense to you. You can bet your bottom dollar. We'll have that for you here in just a minute. Hey, let's take a look at what's going on across West Michigan. First of all, up at the Mackinac Bridge, this is Sunday's picture, which is about like Saturday's picture, which was about like Friday's picture. St. Ignace picking up another 5 inches of snow, and it was really coming down up there for a while. You can see what a couple of cars heading up over the Mackinac Bridge, and that would be just kind of a neat experience or a scary experience for some of you to kind of head up there in that direction, right into the snow and into the fog and cloud and everything, and just kind of disappear. This is a picture at the Muskegon Channel, and that's the pylon on the north end of the channel at the north pier that's there. The spray from the waves was going over the top of the pylon. Really kind of a crazy day out there. What's really interesting is I've been kind of following the Muskegon buoy. Now, the Muskegon buoy cut loose from its chain and is just floating around somewhere in Lake Michigan. It was reporting waves of 12.2 feet, and I could almost believe that. It was really windy out there, and the waves, as you can see, were pretty large. But where oh where has my little buoy gone? They're going to have to find out where that is and drag it out. But if you're along the lakeshore, of course, that prevailing west wind would blow it toward our shore here. Keep an eye out. There's a buoy sitting out there somewhere. It's still transmitting a little bit, I guess. Next couple of days, I'll probably mention more about that. This is a look at some people having fun on Sunday at Bittersweet Ski Area. What a great winter this is turning out to be for winter sports. If you don't mind it being a little bit on the cool side here the next several days, it will be great weather for skiing and snowboarding, getting the snowmobile out. We've got temperatures only in the teens, but boy, if you bundle up, it's great. There's powder conditions, there's plenty of snow out there, and a lot of folks were out there on Sunday having a great time. Same story over here at the Muskegon Winter Sports Complex. These are people skating. You can actually take a little skating path right on through the woods and then wind up back where you came. So that's kind of a neat thing to do. But if you've never been out there, check it out. Muskegon Winter Sports Park, just a little bit, I think it's a little bit north of Muskegon, if I'm not mistaken. They have the luge track there, and any thoughts of getting me on a luge, that's just an illusion, I think. That's not going to happen. Season snowfall, we're off almost up to 70 inches now at Holland and Muskegon. Should surpass that either today or tomorrow. The Grand Rapids is right around 60 inches. That's pretty close to average for this time of year. Less snow as you get farther away from the lake. 36 inches for the season at Lansing, just 33 inches at Kalamazoo. Very often, Kalamazoo and Grand Rapids have identical season snowfall totals with the wind coming in off the lake. But this year, Kalamazoo has missed some of those lake effect bands, and they've had a little bit less snow. You get farther away from the lake, Detroit with about 24, 25 inches. And we're keeping track of Sault Ste. Marie, 166.7, and that is 75.5 inches above average. That's more than 6 feet above average. They could very well hit 200 inches here by the time this winter is over. And leading the state is Painesdale up in the UP, 228 inches. And like I said, not impossible. They could come close to, they have 8 inches of new snow, but they could come close to 300 by the time the winter is over. A couple spots up in the UP have over 40 inches of snow on the ground. Severe weather through the southern United States. Fortunately, daughter number 3 was okay there in Birmingham, Alabama, but lots of severe weather reports. The numbers in that little box on the lower left show there were 4 tornadoes. They were pretty insignificant. Main thing was wind damage, 388 reports of wind damage. Muscle Shoals Airport in Alabama had a gust to 84 miles an hour. Huntsville Airport with 72 miles an hour. A lot of reports of 60 to 65 mile an hour winds from Louisiana all the way into North Carolina. And as you can see on the right side, we have Saturday on the left side, and then Sunday on the right side here. But that system heading out to shore, we shouldn't see much severe weather here over the next couple of days as the cold air really takes over. Periods of snow for the next several days. In our headlines, it will be breezy, and that'll cause some drifting problems. Plus, it'll mean the wind chill will be down a little bit below zero. So make sure you grab a hat, grab some boots, and perhaps Decent pair of gloves or mittens. Try and stay warm because the very cold air is going to last here Monday through Wednesday. There'll be slick spots on the roads, and we are still looking at an end of the month warm up. I would suspect the last 4 days or so of February temperatures may be approaching 40 degrees here, and the snow will start to melt. Winter weather advisory till 1 o'clock across the area. That includes the lakeshore counties, the next set of counties inland, and that also includes Battle Creek, Calhoun County, and Osceola County as well. Not a lot of snow coming down, but these fine snowflakes, small snowflakes, make the roads slick. So beware of that driving about today. If you're heading north, the winter weather advisory continues for much of northwest lower Michigan, and another big snow dump expected from Marquette over to Tequamanon Falls. An isolated spot or two there south of Grand Marais could get 18 inches of new snow in about a 36-hour period. Here's 72-hour snowfall. This is over a 3-day period. You can see the snow that we're going to get from lake effect here in West Michigan. The yellow color is up to 6 inches. If you see the scale there on the right side, orange color would be over 8 inches of snow, and you can see a band of snow across parts of the plain states, southeast Kansas into Missouri. A lot of that area has been real dry this winter, and they're grateful to get the snow. A little bit of snow in the mountains of West Virginia. Big snow dump to the east of Lake Ontario there. That's in an 18-inch category there, and you can see the snow that's going to fall up by Lake Superior. So a lot of snow still in the forecast here this coming week. There it is zoomed in a little bit. You can see the heavy snow east of Lake Ontario and downwind from Lake Superior. Over 72 hours, that's only an inch every 12 hours, so that doesn't mean heavy snow, even in those areas that have the yellow here in West Michigan, and that'll blow around quite a bit, but certainly some very wintry weather coming up. The high and the low are reversed. That's my fault. I missed that. 16 should be the high, but the problem is that the high temperature will occur early and the low temperature will occur late in the day. They're kind of backwards there. But snow expected here on and off. There'll be these snow bands coming in off the lake. More significant snow accumulations will be in the lakeshore counties. But like I said, 4 to 6 inches over a 72-hour period is still fairly light snow. Winds west 15 to 25 miles an hour, and that's going to knock that wind chill down. These are temperatures for the afternoon. 14 Grand Rapids, 10 for Chicago, 6 for Green Bay, 14 below zero up there in North Dakota at Minot. That's their their expected high temperature. So that's pretty incredible. Here's your next 5 days. It'll be breezy. Look for snow to continue here on and off. There'll be some peaks of the sun in between. Look at the high temperatures, 16 today and breezy, 15 tomorrow, 18 on Wednesday, mid-upper 20s by the time we hit the end of the week. Next weekend, we should be at least in the low 30s. Long-range outlook continues to be favorable toward warmer weather. I think the Arctic air is cut off. The plains really warm up. It'll be in the 40s all the way up to North Dakota. That blue area is shrinking in the southeast, and I think we're headed toward a fairly mild period from very late February into the first week of March. Now, the second part of our program here this evening, this afternoon. The third Monday in February is President's Day, and George Washington was born on February 22nd, 1732. One thing I notice is if it's the third Monday in February, President's Day can never be on George Washington's actual birthday. It's just his birthday was the 22nd. The holiday was first started to honor his birthday. We also had Lincoln's birthday, and in fact, when I was a kid going to school, we had special activities for both Lincoln's birthday and Washington's birthday, February 12 and February 22. 1971, we put that rule in effect to make the holidays on Mondays to give us 3-day weekends. President's Day quiz. What president and others are featured on our money? See how many you know. We're going to go through the list here, so check it out. Who's on the penny? we don't exchange pennies as often as we used to around here. Pennies used to be a big deal, but that is Abraham Lincoln. Before Lincoln was put on the penny in 1909, the penny featured Lady Liberty. We also had the Flying Eagle, and we had the Indian head penny, the Native American penny. I still have, I think, probably about 20 Indian head pennies that I collected when I was a kid. There were still a couple in circulation back then. One of the more expensive pennies is the 1909 SVDB, If you got one of those, it's worth a few $100 if you can find that. Who's on the nickel? Now, you should probably know this one, most of you, and that is Thomas Jefferson. He's been on since 1938. The image was updated in 2006. We've had many variations of some of our money here, but this one is pretty much held the same. We got Monticello there on the back. Thomas Jefferson was a weather junkie, just like many of our founding fathers, and was very interested in the temperature, and would carry a thermometer with him to check the temperature and move it from room to room to see how his fireplaces heated Monticello up. How about the dime? Who's on the dime? I bet little orphan Annie could tell you it's Franklin Roosevelt. He's on the dime because Franklin Delano Roosevelt supported the March of Dimes, and that raised money to find a cure for polio. I know that my wife is in the Rotary Club, and they have done work on eradicating polio over the year as well. Who's on the quarter? Well, this one ties into our day coming up here, George Washington. 1932, George Washington replaced Lady Liberty on the quarter. It was to honor his 200th birthday, and of course we've had many variations of the quarter since then. We've had all the state quarters that have been out there, and people have been collecting those as well. That looks like a pretty uncirculated one right there. That's the P to the right of George Washington right there indicates that was minted at Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. How about the $1 bill? That's pretty easy. That's George Washington. You tend to see a lot of those over the course of time. First appeared on the dollar in 1869. The first official paper currency was started during the Civil War to fund the war effort. Can you believe that? Even before that, it was just a change for the most part. Money was called greenbacks because it was only backed by the government saying it was good. Very interesting. How about the $5 bill? We're back to Abraham Lincoln. And there's an interesting $5 note there. Lincoln was on the $5 bill in 1914. Before that, it was Alexander Hamilton and a freedom statue. So that's interesting, our $5 bill. How about the $10 bill? Should know this one. We're back to Thomas Jefferson again, honoring his role in establishing the U.S. financial system, including addressing the Revolutionary War debt. How about the $20 bill? That's Andrew Jackson. And he didn't think there should be a federal bank. So the joke is kind of on him, I guess. But Jackson, those are quite in circulation. When I was a kid, you didn't see many $20 bills. $50 bill is Ulysses S. Grant. He was an interesting fellow. He had he set a high jump record when he was in college, a U.S. record. So the man could leap for the stars. He also was given a ticket. He had to pay a fine for going too fast on his horse in Washington, D.C. And just because he was the president, he didn't get out of paying the fine. He was president right after Lincoln from 1869, or after Johnson really, but after 1869 to 1877. How about the $100 bill? We're getting those in circulation now as inflation has brought that about. Benjamin Franklin on the $100 bill, first put on the bill in 1914, along with some of the other presidents who were put on paper bills at the time. Before that, it was General Winfield Scott, and he was a U.S. Army general. Thanks so much for tagging along with us here. Watch it again if you'd like to make sure you remember some of that stuff about about our money here. But thanks to Michelle, daughter number 3, for putting that together. Hope you have yourself a fantastic day. Stay warm.